Jagex has done a wonderful job in creating the tier 1 relics. They are varied enough that the decision on which relic to take is a tough one, and it will come down more so to playstyle rather than the objective power of the relics. And let's briefly go over them. The first relic is Endless Harvest. It exists to make gathering skills better. Resources gathered by fishing, woodcutting, and mining are multiplied by 2 times, and they are sent directly to your bank if there is space. Otherwise, they go to your inventory. I can summarize this as the AFK relic. Production Prodigy exists to make production skills better. The majority of production-based actions are all done at once, instead of doing them one by one. As an example, if you had 28 molten glass in your inventory, it would craft the 28 molten glass all at once in a couple ticks instead of doing them one by one every 3 ticks. On top of that, there's a 25% chance that you will make an extra product, which gets sent to your bank, granting full experience for that additional product. And lastly, cooking, smithing, herblore, fletching, and crafting. The production skills are boosted by 12 levels. I can summarize this one as the I hate AFKing relic. The last relic is a new one for this league. It's called Trickster. It provides boost to thieving, agility, hunter, and firemaking, so essentially the support skills. For thieving, pickpocketing is auto redone without having to click. Your loot is doubled and noted when you pickpocketed, and your coin pouch limit is multiplied by 3, so it makes it more AFK. For agility, you are given the Sage's Greaves, which give agility experience that scales with your agility level while running around. For Hunter, loot from box traps is doubled. You also lure creatures faster, so more catches per hour. And impling jars are unable to break, so once you get like 9 or so, you won't need any more. The last skill, Firemaking, gives you the ability to light 9 logs at once in a 3x3, granting experience for all of them. Lastly, and I think this is a very important part of the relic, is that you can't fail actions for thieving, agility, hunter, and firemaking. So you're not getting caught thieving, you're not going to fail on any agility courses. Whenever a hunter creature goes through your trap, it's always going to get caught, and your logs are lit immediately, though that one doesn't really matter past like level 15 firemaking. I would summarize this one as the fun relic. Okay, so now we know what each of these relics do. Let's go over the power they provide and how they can relate to your league's choice. Endless Harvest sounds the weakest of the 3 on the tin, and it also seems worse than the Trailblazers League version of it, because in the original league, it specifically stated that XP was given for each resource given, but that isn't the case here, so I think potentially you're only going to get 1 times experience, meaning the real benefit is the 2 times resources in the bank and auto bank feature. Later on, there will be a relic called Infernal Gathering that auto-processes items as you acquire them with the companion skill. When catching fish, they are auto-cooked. When mining ore, they are auto-smelted. And when chopping trees, they are auto-burnt. We don't know the details on this relic yet, as it hasn't had its reveal yet, what tier it's going to be, what it's going to be competing against, whether there's any specific changes to that relic for this league. But we do know that it is at least coming in some form. One thing that I think a lot of people are missing with this relic is that Leagues just doesn't have a lot of AFK content to start with. Sure, the relic buffs make things easier and it makes it more low effort, but it's not AFK. The main AFK activities are done very quickly, and you run out of things to AFK. One thing that I used to AFK all the time was Melee Slayer. That'll be pretty quick, and then that whole AFK is gone instead of being 200, 300 hours of AFK like it is on a normal Iron with DSim. Then, on top of that, all the bank standing skills are not AFK if you select Production Prodigy, as the inventories are processed immediately, so you normally spend a minute making that inventory of molten glass. It's now done in a couple seconds, so you have to click right away. So would I take this relic? No, I am not an AFK gamer. I am more on the degenerate scale, but if you're someone with a young kid or you work from home and want to AFK at work, then this relic might be the best one for you. One thing I should hazard with this choice is that without Infernal Gathering, this relic falls apart quickly. So if you aren't going to pick Infernal Gathering due to what's competing with it, I would skip Endless Harvest. Production Prodigy is the relic that everyone is talking about being the meta relic, and they are probably right. For the incredibly sweaty players that are going to be playing the entire league, this will probably be the best relic. You get 25% extra experience in the 5 production skills, a plus 12 boost in those skills to help boost early game tasks. For example, to get the level 15 fletching tasks, you only need to train from level 1 to 3. which takes no time at all with 5 times experience. This plus 12 boost can also come well into the mid game when you're trying to get like to 8 times to 12 times experience. For example, if there was a task to make a magic shortbow, you could do that as low as level 68, which is only 33% of the experience required to get to the actual level 80 requirement. There is also a cool interaction with Herblore due to the length of its chain. Say you start with 100 grimy herbs, you clean them, and now you have 125 clean herbs. You then turn them into 156 unfinished potions, and then those 156 unfinished potions into 195 3-dose potions. This makes getting enough potions easy and also greatly increases your banked XP, as one herb can almost be 2 3-dose potions. The main ethos with this relic is that you PVM for resources and then you can instantly convert them. Say you're killing Kraken, it drops you 100 raw monkfish. With 16 times experience, that's 300k cooking experience banked in one drop, and it takes less than 20 seconds to cook all of them. The big downside to this relic is that there is no AFK. As mentioned with Endless Harvest, while this relic is good, all the bank standing skills are not bank standing skills anymore, and the novelty of getting 30 mil XP per hour in cooking wears off pretty quickly. I picked this relic on my second account for the original Trailblazers, and I was happy with it, and I think it was the right decision for me. If you don't like AFKing, this may also be the relic for you. Trickster is the cool new fun relic, and I really think Jagex did a good job of bringing it out and providing the support option alongside the gathering and production relics, instead of what it was before with skilling Prodigy being a plus 12 skill boost in all non-combat skills. To me, this is the rush relic. It's going to have a lot of early game power, but fall apart a little bit into the late game, as it doesn't provide much to a maxed or near max character. The no-fail thieving and auto re-pickpocket is the single best thing about Trickster. The second you unlock an NPC, you've already got max rates and it's AFK. This will help early game GP so much, as that is always hard to come by early on League. But by mid to late game, you tend to not need much GP to get things done, as construction is incredibly dense with up to 16 times experience and mahogany homes. Plus, unless you pick Fremnik, all the expensive construction supplies are unusable, so your only GP cost is the planks that you need to train up to whatever experience you want. The Silverhawk boots, aka the passive agility experience from the Sage's Greaves, seem cool, but the way it broke it down is that it would be about 6% of your agility level approximately every 6 seconds before the XP multipliers. So someone with level 60 agility and 8 times experience would get 32 experience every 6 or so seconds, which works out to be about 20k XP per hour. Not bad, but when you can get 500k XP per hour doing the Seers course, that seems kind of minor to me. I think the Sage's Greaves will fit in builds where there really isn't good early game agility training, but will fall off as people get levels up there, as almost every build has some sort of late game agility course that they can use, and with 16 times experience, it won't be long to 99. The no fail of agility will probably be the better boost of the two, as you could do agility pyramid starting at level 30 with no fails, meaning easy GP, or Brimhaven agility right away because you can't fail any obstacle and you're always going to get the ticket. The hunter portion of it seems weak. Herbivore was a task requirement last league, and so far they haven't really taken away previous tasks. They're just adding in new tasks from the tasks they've already released, so I imagine doing 500 of them will probably be a task again, and that got you all the way to 99. And as everyone has access to Herbivore, training Hunter isn't bad on leagues. Double Chins would be nice for range builds, but I think of the Hunter's buffs as a nice bonus rather than a reason to pick the Relic. And lastly, we have Fire Making, again a relatively weak buff, as Fire Making is already quick with Magic Fire Lines, getting up to 7 mil XP per hour, or if you do Endless Harvest Infernal Gathering, it's fully AFK. But this relic choice offers an opportunity to rush to 99 Fire Making with Zaya as your first unlock, as the buff is going to work at Winterdawn. This could drastically boost your points, as you get a lot of bonus points for your first level 60, 70, 80, 90, 95, 99, plus the points for actually getting 99 Fire Making and doing every Fire Making task. This could drastically help boost your points and help bridge the gap between 8 times and 12 times experience. I know I did this exact same strategy with Thieving. to help get me between 8 to 12 times experience with already knights in Kandarin. So that could be a way to help do that in this league with Zaya and Wintertodt. As a whole, Trickster is the most fun of the three, but it probably falls off in the endgame if you're going for Dragon Rank. This could be a really good pick if you're just going to go to Rune Rank, where you're going to get all the unlocks, have a little bit of fun with PVM, but you're not necessarily going to grind out points for the sake of grinding out points. So what relic am I picking? I think I'm going Production Prodigy. I'm not a big AFKer, and I likely don't want to pick Infernal Gathering unless the other two relics in that tier are hot garbage, because Infernal Gathering just is a non-fun relic. But I could be convinced to take Trickster if a certain build works out. I just know I love leagues, and I'm going to be in it for the long haul. I'm going to be grinding it out. I'm going to be a degenerate. And I've already had previous positive experience with a worse production relic, so I think it's not a bad choice. It might not be the best choice, but I know it's not a bad choice. In summary, don't copy content creators. Do what you think is going to be the most fun, going to keep you playing the longest and racking up those league points. My Iron's namesake, No More Mori, comes from the mistake from Trailblazers where I blindly followed content creators and picked Mauritania as my third region. And once I got there, I realized I had no one to Theater of Blood with or no one to Nightmare with, and that region was dead beyond a black mask. It was just a terrible decision I made, and I didn't make it for me. Make decisions for you and not what the YouTube series or YouTubers are doing. They're playing a different game. If you're an AFKer, take Endless Harvest. Who cares if it's not meta? It's meta for you. If you just want to try to rush through the early game, take Trickster. If you're not an AFKer and want to mostly PVM and you're probably going to stick around for Dragon Rank, Production Prodigy is probably the best one for you. There really isn't a wrong decision here. There's just your decision.